Barack Obama was a radical, but he was also a Democrat of some kind. And he proposed these normal cutting, and the left went nuts for him. They loved him. And then when Elon Musk proposed the exact same cuts, America burned Teslas to the ground, randomly keying them. It turned Democrats into monsters, really, which it isn't very hard. They're already halfway there. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Here's Barack Obama versus Elon Musk.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. We're calling it the campaign to cut waste.
You know, there's been a tremendous amount of waste and fraud in the government during the Biden administration, which estimated the federal government fraud to be $500 billion. What we're trying to do is get that number down to a much smaller figure, save money for the American taxpayer, stop money being spent on things that I think very few taxpayers would agree make sense. You know, transgender animal surgeries, or why are the 20 million people who are definitely dead marked as alive in the Social Security database?
So this is what Democrats used to run on, that ending waste, fraud, and abuse. It was a normal Democrat issue, normal Republican issue too. But in this case, it was Obama that I'm making the case that no Democrat actually loved anything that Barack Obama stood for. They never cared. He was the one that they treated like a Christ figure of some kind, including Oprah Winfrey actually saying when she announced his candidacy, is he the one? The one. And you have Time magazine with the halos over his head, you know, just naturally occurring, you know, radiance around his head like he's some kind of a Christ figure. Well, here he is in 2011 announcing his program that sounds a whole lot like DOGE. Where's this party at? Elon Musk is more Barack Obama than Barack Obama.
Cutting waste, making government more efficient is something that leaders in both parties have worked on, from Senator Tom Coburn, Republican, to Democrat Claire McCaskill.
It's bipartisan.
We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like, and that's why we launched on our own initiative the campaign to cut waste. Not just to cut spending, but to make government work better for the American people. For example, we've identified thousands of government buildings that we don't need. Some of them sat empty for years. So we're getting rid of those properties, and that's going to save the American people billions of dollars. I've also tasked Vice President Biden to work with the secretaries of all our agencies to identify some systemic areas of potential improvement: travel, transportation, IT services, all of which we know can save us potentially billions of dollars.
Whoa. Elon Musk stole DOGE from Barack Obama. So why are the Democrats why are they burning Teslas and drawing swastikas on them now? How come they're not complaining about these other, these people in Barack Obama's reform who were not, I didn't vote for them. They didn't say that. They're like, yeah, everyone's smiling. Everyone's happy.
And in September, Joe convened the cabinet and has really pushed them hard in finding savings across all our agencies. So today I'm signing an executive order that builds on their good work. It directs agencies to slash spending in each of these areas.
Wow, he's smart. He's the professor in chief, the smartest man in the world. What happened? Wait, it gets worse. Here's more Barack Obama about the cuts and the wasting and the spending.
The Bush administration has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders.
Whoa, Bush left the borders open, undocumented. Look at Barack Obama going after him. What happened to this party?
Since George Bush took office, it has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is
The
create...
Democrats are clapping in the background. Where did that party go? They're like, yeah, you're exploiting them for slave labor. Now they're like, bring in 11 million more.
a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to
prosecute the employers. That's not Trump. That's not racist Trump. That's smart Professor Smart Obama. Where did this party go? They're all disconnected now, and everyone cares more about the Democrat celebrity than they care about the positions themselves. Now, here's just a quick clip. It'll be mercifully short of Michelle Obama on her recent podcast, because we're going to make a comment on this.
You know, post White House and writing the books and doing book tours, you know, speaking at leadership conferences, things you do as a coach, you realize that what we have, even in our lack of resources, you know, in our household growing up, we had people who would share their opinions, give us advice. We had mentors, and we were used to mentoring and being mentored. And I realize that a lot of people don't have that. You know, they don't have a safe place to come sometimes,
right,
where they feel comfortable being vulnerable. And
she's pro-family. They lived in she and her brother shared a bedroom, raised by a two-parent home. They both had their two parents home who were very educationally minded and answered questions. Now, why isn't that the message to the Black community from the Obamas, from Michelle Obama? Hey, raise your kids. You want to see crime go down? Be pro-education, raise your kids. Don't just raise them in the home, but be a mentor. Ask them questions, hang out with them. Now, here's this Batya Unger Sargon on Piers Morgan just railing on Michelle Obama because she says Michelle Obama's podcast is made for rich, white, liberal women.
Here's the problem that the Democrats have. Trump has outflanked them to the left on the economy. So he stole what was the Democrats' platform for 100 years, economic protectionism, creating an economy that rewards hard work of working class people, protecting labor through tariffs and through controlling the border by limiting the supply of labor, which of course raises the wages of Americans. This was the Democrats' economic platform since the New Deal. And Trump simply lifted it from them because the Democrats had stopped catering to labor and started catering to the kind of people Michelle Obama's podcast is for, rich women. And because the Democrats don't have an economic platform anymore for the working class, they had to take on Trump with these cultural battles that make them sound insane, like defending the right of men to show their penises to little girls in locker rooms.
And we'll end that there on how far the Democrat Party has fallen. They're no longer a party of normal human beings. Trump is the party of normal human beings. Whatever Barack Obama was talking about back there, he didn't do anything about the border. He didn't do anything about that, cutting that waste, fraud, and abuse. And all Elon Musk and Trump are doing is what they promised. And now the Democrat Party is at war with them, ready to cause a civil war. It's not over Trump being too right-wing. It's about him embracing the things that they all said we ought to do, because the Democrats never cared about anything they said they were for. They said they were for women. They said they were for gays. They said they were for family. They said they were for jobs. They said they were for the poor working class. And as this lady says, Michelle Obama and the new Obamas in the new Democrat Party, they're for rich white women. Thanks for watching the Doug TenNapel channel. Please subscribe, give us a like, say hi down in the comments below. Most important, let us know you're there.